There's two parts to resolving a pass play. The first is to determine if the pass is completed, and then if it is, for how many yards it goes for. Let's look at the quick play rules first. And they all start with this chart here, which you make up prior to a game. It's a quick play chart. I've got it made up for Philadelphia and Washington. And looking at Carson Wentz, he has an opportunity to throw a ball short, intermediate, medium, or long, or he could do a bomb or Hail Mary too. You have to check the rules for how those work. You roll a d20 and you check to see where the influence is. So if you rolled a 5, it would mean defense has influence. His pass quarterback rating number is 58, or if offense has his quarterback rating is 73. If you compare that to Kirk Cousins' numbers are a little higher than Carson Wentz. And really the only other factor that influences that quarterback rating number, which is what you're going to use to see if the pass is completed or not, is with a game action card, if there's pressure. Pressure is the only other influence in the quick play. Of course, this one here, there's a potential for a bad snap. You need to see first if there's pressure. And the way you do that is you look down the PR, which stands for pressure, and if it was a 5, the pressure is anything from a 1 to 9, and that is on a 20-sided dice. So you roll a d20, or you flip over a results action card to get a number, a random number, and if it's within that range, that means there's pressure. You can see everything is high until you get to offense. Well, they had a pretty good offensive line, and so they protect him only when there's offensive influence, which is a 15 to 20. In this number here, or card here, you can see there's a number in brackets, and that's a 4. So you can use that number, and when I play the quick play rules, I do use that number because it helps speed up the game. Or you roll a d20 if you want a little bit more variability. So coming back over to here, the result is a 4. If it was a defense, a 1 to 9, it means they get pressure. Even if it was basic or both, it would be pressure. Only if the offense had influence, there'd be no pressure. If there is pressure, you come to the quarterback row, and for Carson Wentz and for all the quarterbacks, they have this section up here. And there's one of 4 things that's going to happen. You're going to roll a d20 or turn a results action card to get a random number. If it's a 1 to 4, he gets sacked. You roll a d12, that's the number of yards back from the line of scrimmage he's sacked. If it's a 5 to 13, it means he's able to escape the pressure, but it's affect his ability to get the pass completed by minus 10 points. CD is for a check down. So 14 to 16 means that he can check down, and what you do is you roll a d20, and you look down this column here to see who gets the pass. You keep that same quarterback rating number, and then see resolve for the pass. Or you can force it and take a minus 20. So you can continue with the same play, but you take 20 points off the quarterback rating number. And then if it's a 17 to 20, he's going to run. And if he does run, you're going to roll another d20. If the rolls are 1 to 12, his running number is a 48. If it's a 13 to 20, his running number is an 18. And then you'd resolve the run first by modifying the run in out if there's a modifier there, and then going to the results action card. So that's really the only effect on the quarterback rating number to start with is pressure. And once you get the pressure down, it'll start to flow pretty quickly. So again, this pressure means it's all depths of pass. It could just say medium and long, or it could be intermediate, medium, long, or just long, but this all means it's all depths. You look down the pressure row or pressure column, and then if this number, the 4, is, and of course this number is not always a 4, it's a different number all the time, but if it's within this range, that means they get pressure. And so you end up with a quarterback rating number, and what you do is you flip over a card, and then whatever that number is, so for instance, he started, say, with a 58, and there was pressure on the play, and say he was able to get the pass off, and it's minus 10, so it would be a 48. You look at cell 45 to 49, which is a 48, and it's a C. If it's a C, the pass is complete. If it's blank, the pass is incomplete. If it's a P, if there was a P in that 45 to 49, that means it's a 50-50 ball. And what you'll do is you'll look at the defense, and see Washington has this pass deflection number up in the top corner here. It's a 1 to 10. And the teams are rated from 1 to 6 to 1 to 15. Theirs is 1 to 10, so it truly is a 50-50 ball. On a D20, you're going to roll a D20, or you're going to turn over the next results action card and look at this number here. And if it's between 1 and 10, then the pass has been deflected, it's incomplete. If not, then the pass is complete. And there's one more possibility here. Well, there it shows you the blanks. Blanks are incomplete. This here, these stars. Stars are for the All-Stars and for any receiver who averages 5 or more catches per game. And when we look at Philadelphia, you can see that Jordan Matthews has a plus. So a plus and a star is going to be the exact same thing. So he would get a completion. If this 45 to 49 was a star, then he would be completed. But you see none of the other receivers would be. Zach Ertz would catch the pass as a tight end, and Darren Sproles will catch a pass. And conversely, if you look at Washington, none of the receivers would. The only player who would catch that pass if that cell was a star would be Jordan Reed. Okay, so the pass is complete. Now we need to figure out how many yards a pass goes for. If you look at the receivers, you see there's a set of columns that's short, intermediate, medium, and long, and then there's a second duplicate set here. The set on the left is for the standard game for the quarterback rating number, so we'll ignore that for now. We want to focus on these here. And again, they're split into the 4 different zone depths. And let's say it was an intermediate pass to Jordan Matthews. His intermediate number is 35. If it was a medium pass, his number would be 56. But so let's say it's an intermediate pass, it's a 35. So then you're going to flip over a game action card and you're going to modify it based on this number here. So it's a plus 10. It could also be a minus 10. This is a plus 10, so it's a 45. So then we go to a results card and we look in the passing section, which is over here, 40 to 49, it's a 10-yard gain. Oh, nice gain. Anyway, that is how you resolve a pass in the quick play sequence. Now let's go through how you determine if a pass is completed using the standard rules. As I showed you earlier, each of the receivers has a rating on a set of columns over on the left-hand side here. This is their quarterback rating number. So instead of using the quarterback rating number from the quick chart, we're going to use a quarterback rating number from the receiver. So if it's Jordan Matthews and we threw an intermediate pass to him, his number is 68. Or if it was Daniel Green Beckham, it would be a 66, or Zach Ertz, he would be a 72. Okay, so 68 is his intermediate quarterback rating number. So that's where you're going to start from. And just like with the running, if you watch the running play sequence, you'll know that the defense is going to have to call a play, and there could potentially be influence on the play. So the influence is here. So with a pass, if Washington's on the road, a 1 to 4 on a D12 means they have influence, or 1 to 5 if they're at home means they have an influence. And with offense, if they're at home, 1 to 6 they have influence, 1 to 5 on the road means they have influence. The rest means they don't have influence. Okay, if a receiver does have influence, you add this number right here. So it'd be 68 plus 8 would be 76. So Jordan Matthews' new quarterback rating number would be 76. But then you also modify it based on the defense, and just like the running play, there's always a number that's going to come off the pass defense. So you look, if the defense had called run during this pass play and they played a 4-3 defense, you would add 20 to that quarterback rating number because they were really looking for a run and there was a pass on the play. Or you could play a basic run, in which case it would only be a plus 8. Pass defense, basic pass, you can see depending on the length of pass, it would be a minus 3. And then if you selected a pass, say for instance they were playing a 4-3 defense and they actually played the intermediate pass, so that's with depth of the pass. So they'd have a minus 10, and because they had the correct depth, another minus 10. So the result on the quarterback rating number would be a minus 20. If, however, they had chosen medium pass, which is 1 cell away, so from an intermediate pass, short and medium are 1 cell away, you just use that number that's in the cell. So if it was a medium pass, it would be minus 8. If you're 2 cells away, you can see that you add 5 to it. So minus 5 plus 5 is 0, or minus 12 plus 5 is a minus 7. And the thing is, if defense, just like with the running, if defense did not get influence, So if the roll was 6 to 12 up here, so they did not get influence, they automatically default to the basic pass column. So they're always going to pick up a number, and you can see that number is going to range anywhere from a plus 20 to, well, if they guessed right and they played a nickel defense, it'd be minus 25. So somewhere in between is going to be the modifier that you're going to add to the quarterback rating number, which, remember, we started with 68, and then we decided offensive influence, and we add that. Go and we add in whatever defense played, and that gives us our quarterback rating number. Then we're going to do the game action card just like we did before. We're going to flip over a card if it's got this pressure. Again, you can use that number that's in the brackets, and remember the last one was a 4, this one's an 8. You can use that number, or you roll a d20. I find when I'm playing the standard rules, I know the game takes a little longer. I like the variability. I roll the dice. But let's just take this 8 and show you how you decide what the range for the defense is. And it really depends on, again, on the play that they've called. So if they're in a pass defense, the range is higher. And this rush row is the range that they're going to play. So if they're playing pass defense, they get a pretty good chance of getting pressure. Even with a basic pass, a pretty good chance. If they're playing run, well, they still get a pretty good opportunity, but about half the amount. And then if there's blitzing on the play, they get to add +2 to this number here because they're blitzing. And the rest of the blitzing you can see in the rules. And anyway, that's how you determine what the quarterback rating number is. And remember to resolve if there's an interception. So Carson Wentz, his interception rating number is a 1 to 5. There's a chance with the defense that you're going to influence that as well. You can see Washington doesn't have a lot of influence. It did not have a lot of interceptions. So depending on what they played, they're going to influence actually in his favor. So if they played a basic run, his interception rating would be 1 to 3 instead of 1 to 5. But if you look at Philadelphia, Philadelphia's got some nice numbers. If they're playing pass defense, they'd be +2. So if you look at Kirk Cousins' interception rating is 1 to 4. Say if they were playing a nickel defense and they had a chance for an interception, they'd add 2 to it. So that range would now become 1 to 6. So remember, there's potential for reviews, there's potential for fumbles, there's a quarterback fumble. And if there is pressure and there's a quarterback fumble, you add 2 to the quarterback's fumble rating. And so Carson Wentz, his fumble rating is 1 to 6, is pretty high. You add 2 to that, and you're getting to a 40% chance that he's going to fumble the ball on that play. And then you're going to flip the card and again go through this, see if he completed the pass or if it was deflected. And then the yardage is exactly the same. So in this case here for Jordan Matthews, you just jump over to here, he threw an intermediate pass to him, and you resolve it just like you did the quick play.